to another incredible The Podcast. I think that's just going to be the name, is just The Podcast. It is Monday, November the 10th, 2025. I'm Jim. I'm glad you're not because it'd get crowded in here and we don't need that. Anyway, how are you this morning? It was definitely cold, lived up to the hype, but you know what? It really wasn't that bad. It's just we're moving into that time of year where those dumps are going to happen. Anyway, today's edition of the podcast is all about clarity and a lot of things. Because as I've been talking with you guys over the past now, the previous 10 episodes, and now here we are on 11, is that it's all about clarity when it comes to doing stuff. And that's what I was searching for more than anything else because I needed something. I didn't know where I was going. Now, why is that, Jim? Well, the main thing is I've always been very, again, when I say when we named the company Amp Multimedia, I mean, really, I just got a multitude of interests inside of all of it because I've also provided a multitude of services over all the years in business and just being. So to get clarity was harder than I thought, but actually super simple because why? I wrote the little workbook on it, and that's what was really going down yesterday. Here is like now I keep telling you guys in the description you can get a copy of this. Now what this is, it's 6 pages, 3 pages if you print them front to back. It is the AMP Multimedia Three Keys to Content Creation workbook slash workshop. And I could tell you, it was like it's so funny. It's like how one can do that when you're in your own field and you're doing your own thing, you can lose sight of doing it for yourself. And again, there's a lot of psychology into all of that, why we do that. We can do it for others all day long, doing it for ourselves. We get confused. We create a chaotic environment in our mind. But I went and got the workbook out again and realized, oh, this is what you need to do. So that's what I worked on yesterday, and it was cool because in that process of sitting down with key one, which what is the first key in the workbook, it's all about brainstorming. It's when you sit down and just throw it all out on the table. You can dedicate just a little bit of time and be amazed at what you can do. You know, again, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. If you got time to sit and stare at the wall or scroll the Facebook or any other whatever, you can take that time and apply it to like your advertising, marketing, and promotion stuffs. So that's what I did for myself. And as a matter of fact, I've got the rest of the month brainstormed out because you're going to see something totally different. You would have seen it this morning. However, life happened and we had a family thing we needed to take care of, and it made for a very long night. Looks like everything's going to be okay. But yeah, it was a long night, so I didn't get to where I wanted to get. However, I'm ready for it now, today, because again, I'm just as human as anyone else, and so that's another reason why I created things like that three keys to content creation or the 8 hour video workshop because for so really for decades now I've worked so solo on most things that organization was key, and that word right there is where I found where my true superpower is. Man, I am, believe it or not, I am very much all about organization and time management, but making it fun at the same time to where it doesn't feel like it. Now you again, over the years, I've been in a lot of places all at one time simultaneously, and that wasn't magic. It was just organization. So anyway, that got me back into the flow of that. Now, why this matters to you? Because I want to just wake up with you with this podcast. Its point and purpose is just to connect and say hi and also share stuff as we go. And I had to clarify what that meant. Now, starting with yeah, okay, there's like three things that you'll note in the description there. If you look, you'll see that I've got one product, and I do. It's right here. My book. This is why I wrote the book. So I had a product. Didn't want to just be slanging and banging all kinds of stuff, trying to raise the funds to keep things going and always selling, selling, selling. Now I am going to be, where we go again? Pick up. Selling, selling, selling. I got a goal of 11,000 copies sold, and I'm going to do it. Why 11,000, you say? Because when I went to write down 10,000, just to kind of map out the goal, if you will, My chicken scratch made it look like 11,000. I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep that. That's just weird enough that why not shoot for 11,000? And this is something for a global outreach. And it's great to see that I've had folks buying it from all around the nation. And I'm not sure about international sales. I need to check that. But either way it goes, it's moving. And it also, another reason in creating the book is number one, the message in it, firmly believe, because it's the method in which I went through trying to understand exactly why I have this stuff around me. Because it's like I'm not just a hoarder, right? No, there's meaning in it. There really is. And then when you really dive deep, you can pull so much more out of you that you can use in other walks of your life. And so that's pretty cool. The second thing is the service that I provide now, because again, it's a matter of clarity, right? For years and years here locally between Harrison and Branson and all parts in between and slightly surrounding, I did a lot of video service work. I'd like do commercials for people, um, ads, things like that, right? And I didn't want to go back down that hole. I really didn't. Because why? Because everyone has a production studio in their pocket. And I've, again, as far as like a business model, I don't see those services as something that's truly sustainable. And now, with the advent of the AI programs that are out there, good enough is just fine, especially when you're working with a budget. And people do that. Again, I can share with you that we throughout my career, with the first one that was going to be my chosen career of newspaper, man, that phased out fast, and we didn't even get out of we barely got into the 90s before that became such a this is not going to work thing. And then, of course, into radio for many, many wonderful, wonderful years. And then finally stopping off in television here in Harrison because I never dreamed of doing television. But honestly, I was kind of Johnny come lately to the party on that because things were already starting to transition into what we were constantly evolving into when it comes to online content and on-demand content and all that. So, and getting back into building out the business itself and a service that I can provide, put a whole lot of thought into that, and that's where the evergreen content comes into play. And I've got an evergreen content package that's very simple. I come to you to help you put together your message to remain connected with your existing audience. Now, a scatter shot, let's get new people and big advertising blitzes, that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that if you've got the budget, but it's also realistically not necessarily the best investment in your advertising, marketing, and promotion dollars. And I'll share that philosophy real fast. If you have been very conscientious about collecting like emails, getting people over to your social streams, and they're following you and they like you, and then they come back and shop with you over and over again, those are the people you want to talk to. Those are your family. Those are the ones who genuinely enjoy what you do. So make your stuff for them, right? Because they'll tell their friends. And boy, everybody inside of the broadcast industry is going to boo and hiss at me for this next statement, but word of mouth is still the best. And now with social media, you've got super word of mouth. They can go both ways. But when you create the content that talks to your loyal people, your loyal customers, your loyal fans, your loyal people, um, you're going to get a better return on that investment. And so, in putting together a service again, because we all got to make sure we pay rent to stay on the planet, I wanted something that I knew, as best as anything can do, would give you a return on anything you would hire me to do. And so, as a service, um, I also had to come to terms with the fact that not everyone realizes that this is a full-on production studio in your pocket. So, and they don't want to learn, or they're slow to learn, or they're scared to learn. And I was like, well, I can do that. But then also make the the processes teachable. And so that's all part of it too. If like, we can put together something to where we can come in once and do the package once. And hopefully you take the notes because I'm going to encourage you to do that. I think I'm probably going to be one of the few business people you've ever seen whose hope is to put myself out of business in a way, because I really want to see people get empowered to do it themselves. because again, when things get tight, normally the first thing that suffers is your advertising, marketing, and promotion budgets when you really shouldn't do that, because that's the time when you really want to stay connected with your base and again attract new people. And if you're having a party and everybody at the party's having a great time, everybody else is going to want to come to that party. It's really just that simple. Now, like what I'm calling like the third pillar of what I'm doing inside of really expressing this spark that is inside of me as a storyteller and creator is I still want to do something for my local community. And excuse me, last year the idea hit and it just really popped when it came to coming up with the 72601.life to put together a resource for folks to know what's here in like the Harrison area. And I won't go through the whole thought process there and bore you, but I did know that it's hard for people who are like coming through or even live here to know what's going on or going or in town alone. And so the guide itself is what evolved from that, the 72601 Life Destination and Business Directory. Um, and I'm happy with it, but I didn't know exactly where it was going to go because the print edition has had to be pulled back for this next season and cycle. Um, for now, that could change, but right now it's just going to be digital only for right now. But the digital edition is so much, and the website is so much easier to be able to promote to people so they know it exists. At this, I don't know, I'm just not going to say anything about that yet. But anyway, if you go to 72601life.com, what I'm putting together here is number one, a hub for the guide, which is a hub in turn for the businesses, primarily in Harrison for now. But I'm going to expand it out to the southeast, west, and north as time permits and the resources allow for to again, like if there are a lot of folks who come through here. I mean, again, last weekend, Saturday, when I was out at Maplewood Cemetery and seeing all the people who were coming in to take pictures because it's just beautiful out there in the fall. And again, I like having something for when people say, "Hey, man, where's a good place to eat around here?" I've got my opinions, but if you like something different, look through here. Look through this guide. It'll be simple for you. And I designed it in a way to where when they do go to access the guide, you don't have to download an app. You just click and you can scroll, and then you can click on certain places to get a better look or connect directly with them. And it works. So, but the website, I had to get a little bit more value in there. And so, and I also wanted to be able to service the community with a news product. But again, I can't chase them all down. I can't, I just, there's not enough me to go around. And at this point, I don't see an intern in sight right now, or just anyone who wants to do it. So, but I couldn't just let it go. So, what's happening at the website now? If you go look, you're going to see there's headlines now, and I'm using the robot for doing what the robot's good at, and that is writing code that's allowing me to aggregate 24-hour news cycles. I don't. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to tweak it as I go. But like right now, if you go over there. You can do that and listen at the same time. If you go over there, what you're going to see is you're going to see a quick 36-hour weather snapshot because it's that's a habit of like the whole week things can change, but 36 hours is pretty good. Today, tonight, and tomorrow, right? So for today, we got sunny sky with a high near there. We only have one, so we hear anybody say sunny skies, ask them where the other one is. Anyway, it's sunny, high near 41 with a little bit of wind out there, but no rain in sight right now. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low, once again, freezing, chilly under that 32 mark at 26 degrees, and that wind chill will be a factor with that 15-mile-an-hour wind. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny once again with a high near 60, so we'll bump it right back on up on the thermometer, but we'll have wind gusts at 30. So it'll still be pretty cool out there. And then when you look, because it's so funny, we're so close between Harrison and Branson and all parts in between that the forecast is like the same ish, but that little bit north for Branson sometimes can change. Like, okay, there's a little bit of a difference there. Today in Branson, sunny, high of 42 to 43, clear, overnight low tonight 25. So it's well, they're minuscule until it matters because the way the fronts will move in. is there can be a line there that'll change things. So I'm hoping to stay on top of that. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 61. But and I've got to get the link proper up there. But being my pal and my buddy, and we really want to service and help the community as much as possible, and being able to get information that matters when it matters. Brandon Ruley with Stormtrack 360. I want to get his link up there because when things go dicey, he's on. He's on. He's ready for you to get you the information quickly. And yes, everyone has an app on their phone now that normally gives you a weather alert, but that's all it does. It says, "Hey, it's going to break. Run." Well, okay. Well, you go to StormTrack 360, and I'm telling you, Brandon's setup is amazing. He is comparable to anything and anyone else you would stereotype or typecast as a weather provider of information. Go. I mean, seriously, there he's on it, and with his cast of volunteers who help him in those moments, it's great. And plus, you never know who you're going to get because, like I say, these guys and gals are volunteers. So it's like you get to get guest stars every time there's bad weather. That's kind of cool. But anyway, when you go and you look and you dive into the headlines, what I've got the robot doing for me is aggregating the past 24 hours of stuff. Now, I'm not doing an archive thing at this point because why? It just gets cluttered and it's okay. I want to do my best to have it to where it recaps the last 24, and then I'm going to play with it to where it'll kind of make sure we see what's coming up, because that's the other big thing is normally, and I've experienced this a lot myself, and I've heard it from a lot more people that they don't know what's happening because you don't have time to play or to plan, excuse me, plan to play. And that said, I want this news product to be able to help answer some of that issue, right? So there's not a lot going on in the past 24 hours around this parts because it was the weekend and nothing happens on the weekend, right? Everything is just everybody stops. The world is a peaceful place. People are just singing Kumbaya if they're not sleeping in. So it's awesome like that. But just taking a look at some of the headlines out there, you got the flight delays, they're worsening, but now, we are officially on day 41 of the government shutdown. Now, last night, the Senate has pushed a minibus and approved that. It's like, it's in consideration because now it's got to go back to the House of Representatives to then get approved by them and then go to the president's desk to sign. How will that work out? We don't know. Now, one side is already claiming victory, the other one is not, but licking their wounds because something's fixing to happen or not. Who knows? All I know is we're 41 days in. The government is still talking, but that's it. I mean, who knows? I don't know. So then KY3 is reporting on a paint by number patriotic mural that's readying for Veterans Day tomorrow up in Branson. And again, you're going to be hard pressed to find a more patriotic town, and we all live so close to it around these parts. Branson really, really, really loves celebrating the veterans, and rightfully so. See, nothing new over in Eureka, nothing new in Berryville, Green Forest, Flippin, Yellville. But oh, look over at Mountain Home. We got a little update there from KTLO with new vehicle theft charges and a court appearance. So KTLO.com is a great source for regional news. I mean, they're fantastic. I've been following them for a very long time. Nothing to speak of, according to the robot down in Jasper, nor up in Hollister Mobile. But you'll see that. Like I said, I'll fine tune and tweak as we go, and as you guys provide feedback, what you would like to see inside of that news product, I'll tweak it to where we can get it there. Because I just want it to be I want it to be a useful resource. This is the best I can think of so far when it comes to servicing my community in a manageable way that you can hopefully in time come to depend on. That's what I'm going for. The only other thing is there will be special features like the virtual stump. And the virtual stump, for those aren't familiar with it, for many years since 2010, right? Yeah, 2010 was the first time really hunkered down and trying to create election coverage with gusto around here, primarily speaking to Harrison and Boone County. With like we did the first live results from the courthouse over on TKO8 way back there in 2010. And ever since that point, Always wanted to, because I would go out there, like with the radio stations, like with KHOZ. I would go out and I would sit and I would phone stuff in, and we get it out that way. But again, so much has evolved and changed since then. It's like, well, that's just at the end of the race, and it's like, yeah, that's not terribly helpful. Good to know after the fact, sure, but the lead up is where I personally feel is so important for the voters to, number one, get engaged with what's going on with your local elections. And let's be real, man. Folks really, they don't want to invest the time, even though it's important, but to make it easier to be able to find out who is who and why they want to serve you, and how they're going to earn your vote. And the virtual stump has been a good thing over the years, to where, for all candidates, I'll put this out there again, all candidates, which I'll be reaching out to all of you as we go, to be able to just give me a who you are, what you're running for, and why we should vote for you. Boom, that's it. And then I take that little video and you can use it on all your socials, and we'll put it up. I'm going to build a gallery on the 72601life.com page, to where you'll be able to go through it. And so, it's just something that I want to do to help y'all. And by y'all, I mean all of us, from the candidates to the voters. Just get informed. Best we can do. And it's a streamlined system, so I'm not killing myself in it. And I feel it's very beneficial. But it's also very telling in some ways. I'm not going to go into that, but you can read that. Those who don't want to say hi, I don't know. But so far, that's really never been the case. I think I've had that happen maybe one time, but I don't remember their name, and you probably don't either. So there you go. But there are some other things that put together along those lines, to where it's more special feature stuff. Because again, to chase down headlines every day, mm, just don't have time for it. And also, it can add to a problem, because one of the things, well, like when it comes to social media as a whole and what we've evolved into there, I see people running absolutely roughshod and unchecked. There's free speech, and then there's just flat out lies. And that's tough, but they may not even know they're lying. That's one of the other problems of things, and hard to wrangle. It's like wrangling cats, right? It's just, it's hard to do. Like admins of like some of the bigger Facebook group pages out there that have become very dependable for news and information. They do their best trying to keep up to make sure they weed out the idiots or the liars and the trolls, but you can't stop it all. And it doesn't take but one post for something to go viral that's simply not true. And so you just got to be you got to be vigilant and diligent all by yourself. I'll do my part. If I put something out, it will be as factual as I can possibly present it. In most instances, I'll always go to the source and let them say it themselves. And there you go. So if there's ever an issue to where someone's like, "Well, I did," yeah, you did. It's right there. It's on the video. Well, I didn't mean. Well, you explain that. That ain't my problem. Because it's just the best way for the public to stay informed. That's my opinion on it. So anyway, 72601life.com. Hope it to grow into being a dependable information and entertainment resource for you as we go. What else do we got here on my handy dandy sheet? It was a good weekend, because again, I want you. I want you. No, only kidding. Only kidding. I want you to check out those freebies I got up for you with the 3 keys to content creation, as well as the 8-hour video workshop. This is, again, I'm targeting businesses and organizations who need a little extra help in putting together an organized message to connect with their existing customers and fan base, and also to be able to do a lot of this stuff yourself. Now, of course, again, I've got an Evergreen package that we are actively offering. But here's the kicker. This is another thing about the moment of clarity. Again, I got one product, that's my book, one service, that's the Evergreen content package, but also training inside of that. And then, of course, my community with 72601life.com. And its purpose in all of this, like with the podcast, it gives me a chance to talk to you, but it gives me a chance to think and figure out the best way to present certain things. Because I love sharing how to do. I do, because I know I can't do it all for everyone all the time, but I can teach you. I can give you the tools to where you can learn on your own. And if you need a little help, you can reach out and I'll do what I can, and we'll see what happens. But that's just so important to me. It really is. It's so very, very, very important because an informed community is a connected community. And now to have genuine organic creativity and connection nurtured and applied in the age of artificial intelligence and social media is priceless. It really is. It's a skill set that you need, everyone needs, it's period. And so I'm just standing on that. Now, why did I say that again, Jim? You're redundant. Quit being redundant. These people got more important things to do, like drink more coffee. Okay, good idea. But another thing about this three keys workbook that I really, this is why I really push this. Once you sit down to start brainstorming things and start, and I'm telling you, I am following my own words, word for word in this thing, because sometimes we get stuck, right? Well, the first thing I suggest to everyone, I'll suggest it to you right now, is if you're stuck in ideas and you just can't get those creative juices going, grab a calendar. That calendar is going to show you all the pre-existing things that people are used to doing. What's that? Holidays. Because every month is a holiday of some sort that you can then use to spark an idea of what can I say about what I do at this particular time, right? And that's a great way to jumpstart. And then you're going to find if you will give yourself just 15 minutes to list out January through December, list out the major holidays for each one, ask yourself that question when it comes to what can I say about this in regards to what I do. The rest of the juices are going to start flowing and the ideas are going to start pouring out. And this doesn't mean you have to act on every single idea. No, just write it down. Old school pen, old school notebook. Amazing what you can do. Sure, you can use your notes on my note program on my phone is just wow. It's like if I published all that, probably get institutionalized. But I got a million and one things that are stacked up and ready to go as an idea. And maybe it's worth doing, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not worth doing right now, but could be later. Could be twisted, could be adapted and tweaked. Could be. Like in the process of going through everything yesterday, and like I said, what you're going to see with the podcast moving forward, when we open up and we chat, because we're chatting locally, right? And it's open to everybody in the nation and the world. And because I like people around, because I've got friends around the planet who like to ask me questions about things on the ground here. They see the headlines, but they're like, what's really going on, dude? And I'm like, this. But the best part is I get to do that with them in return. And with this presentation, and again, I'm just going to shoot straight with you. I've got my own particular biases. Anyone who says they don't, they're crazy. But I promise I'll shoot as straight as I possibly can with the knowledge that I have available to me. But we get to share that kind of information. So that's how the show will always start. But then this is where it gets different because then I have a product I want to sell because I made a decision to sell 11,000 of these. And I'm going to with your help. Networking is key, right? But I got to give you a reason to want it, one that actually makes sense to you. And that's really what content and sharing and all that's about, right? But it's a book that I believe in and I know it can help you. And the reviews that are up are showing that. So that said, and it'll make sense as you see this. And like I said, I plan on you seeing it today, but again, things happen. But that's really my push. I'm not looking for advertisers and sponsors for things. I don't really want that. I'm not opposed to it, but I got to make sure for me it's worth your time and your money. And if it's not, I'm not going to do it. I just don't want to. So I made my own currency. It's called a book. And I want the book to do two things, believe it or not. One, where it can help you as it helped me in getting freedom and enjoying what I enjoy and the permission to play, to enjoy what you got. And also connect with something you may not have realized was inside of you the whole time. And then secondly, what I would love to see this book do for you is have you look at it and go, and you read it, and go, dude, I could write a book because you can. Every one of us got a book in us. You may not believe that, but it's true. You may mainly be hung up by the process. This will start you thinking about that. And then once you kind of start the process and the brainstorming, you'll be amazed how things just start kind of rolling and flowing. Your desire to learn more and how to do things, you'll do it. You really will, I promise you. You learn how to do everything else that way. You learn how to tie your shoe on your own. after some frustrating tips and tricks from mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, or that one other kid in kindergarten who was like, why don't you tie your shoes? So there you go. But anyway, that's really what I want to say. I wanted to inspire you to be the best you possible. And in this process, now here's the inside baseball that I'm never going to mention again. Nope. What I'm creating here with the podcast and the segments, the way it's going to play out is the Evergreen content package that I'm offering to select. Because that's the thing too, you're not it's ain't open to anybody. It's like there is a questionnaire to make sure we're a good fit. Because kicking tires and bad relationships don't ever need to be nurtured and formed because it just turns into a disaster. But if we get through that process of getting to know each other pretty quick, then we'll work together on stuff. But what you can see in the process is I'm practicing what I preach, man, proof in the pudding, to where you're going to see what I'm doing in real time. And if you're taking notes, you can do it for yourself. But if you need some help, I'll have the resources available, or I got a cutoff period when it comes to service packages that I can't offer because there's only so many hours of the day and I have no desire to wear myself out. Could it scale up by hiring people to do it? Yes. Are we there yet? Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. It'll take a special. Over the years, I've had just a handful of folks that I'm proud to say approached me about learning and doing, and then they did great. And I love taking folks under my wing. I appreciate when people take me under their wing. It's how we grow and learn. So, anyways, that's what's going to be happening as you're going to start seeing, Lord willing, the creeks don't rise and things happen. It kind of pulls me away. But tomorrow morning will be a whole new take on the presentation that I think will be advantageous for you. But again, you're going to see the whole thing in action. And I'll share results as we go too. Because again, it's proof in the pudding. And it's not just about me encouraging you to work with me, it's me and showing you it can be done. And it's real and it's totally tangible. To which, on that note, oh, where else is my notes here? Oh, no, oh, this is a fun thing. I'm just going to show you one piece of the puzzle, literally. So, in the process of brainstorming, I came up with the idea for an educational game that ties in 100% to the book. Because why is that? Marketing and promotion and expanding on one idea. And this D12, for those who are not familiar with the dice, this D12 means it has 12 sides. But the funnest part about it is well, I made it like this, right? I say made, I found a model and it works perfectly. But it's flat and you put it together and it turns into this. It doesn't go from white to blue though. That's some kind of alchemy I don't know how to do yet. Maybe one day. But anyway, but that was an idea that came up in the process of brainstorming things. And so now I'm going to be fleshing that out. Hope to have the game itself available here in the next couple weeks. I'll follow up with you on that as soon as it is, because again, I love that we live in a time where literally, if you dream it, you can build it. It's doable. It's possible. It's affordable in more ways than you might realize, and I love it. I do. I mean, I love the idea of being able to go from idea to book to there we go. Try not to knock anything over. But like, merchandise. This isn't really merchandise. This is more promotional material stuff that I'm just using to promote myself to myself, I guess, because I like it. I'm not ready for like wide distribution on it, but I do have a IP that I built now that can be expanded on, like I'm doing. And I want to encourage you to do the same. And you can do it all from the comforts of home, or you'll have the knowledge and understanding to where you can speak the language of those who can help you do it. Like here's a not exactly a shout out, but well, it's a shout out, not a plug, but a shout out to where I know, like with print on demand things, which looks like a great opportunity to be able to do things where you don't have inventory and overhead on things like t-shirts and other logoed merchandise. And that's cool. I'm not saying don't do it, but there are caveats in there that, can give you some false expectations. And you're also in most instances that I personally have seen, you don't have whole lot of interaction and hands-on input, right? But someone like my pal Tracy over at Premier Apparel, she does fantastic work. She and her crew, they do fantastic work over there making stuff in-house. And it's more affordable than you think because you're getting quality with hands-on, um, quality Q&A. Gosh, I love it when I lose words. But the quality control, you have a much more direct connection, and you're producing everything right there at home, locally, or regionally at least, to where you can have a more hands-on uh, input and design with everything you do. I'm gonna look over here at the Facebook because I've got the comments thing turned off. And we're good there. And for everyone, Heather, if you happen to still be watching, my pal Heather Johnson, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but happy belated birthday, even though I said it yesterday, even if you weren't watching. Let's see here. Let me refresh this. I'm going to go ahead and pin this thing to the top. But anyway, but that's kind of the gist of everything. I hope everyone has a great day. Again, I got those free resources for you in the description. Download them, use them. I mean, even if you're not in business and you just need something to kind of spark your creativity and ideas, you say you're bored and you don't know what to do, well, that might help you come up with something to do. And now that we're going into the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday season and some of the weird oddballs in between of it, never know what you might be able to come up with. So there we go. And hey, I'm going to say hi, Sean. Thank you, buddy. Good morning. Good to see you. Mary, there you go. Thank you. And Mr. Byers, how you doing? So again, I don't know if you're still there. Thank you for continuing to watch. 'Cause I'd love to monitor all this in real time, but I don't. I'll try to get back with you. But know that everybody who is watching, no matter when you're watching, you are appreciated tremendously. Now I'll do that whole like, comment, share thing because I'm seeing that now I'm watching, now that I'm getting active again on the Facebook land specifically, but also on YouTube. But if you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, it helps a lot because if you see the value in what I'm doing here that helps you and could help someone else, spread the word, man. Doesn't cost you a dime and is much appreciated. I'm at 896 followers on Facebook, and I'd like to see that thing hit 1,000 kind of soon. I'm not saying let's just raw, but I'd like to see that again. And once upon a time ago, I had a lot more before Facebook decided to make me disappear from the planet. It worked for a minute. Uh-oh, I'm back. But anyway, I just want to grow it. It's like there are a lot of reasons. I want to get the message out and help as many people as possible and connect with more people because that's really what we need is more human connection. And we can meet here inside of the box because that'll allow for us to meet over yonder out there in the real world. So anyway, but that's just kind of the Monday morning clarity. What's the big takeaway that I can offer you right now? Um, Honestly, it is go download my 3 keys workbook because if you will sit down with the first key where you brainstorm, dedicate, focus in 15 minutes, just brainstorm, see what starts to roll out and dump it out on a piece of paper or in your phone's notepad, whatever. But make it physical though. Whatever you do, don't just sit there because great line I learned from my hero and mentor for life, Bob Gay. God rest his soul. Man, I love this. A goal not written down is just wishful thinking. Boom, boom. That I learned when I was 15 years old, and I've held on to that ever since because if you don't write it down, it is just wishful thinking. That's it. And you're not going to get anywhere further. So take the time, get a pen, use your phone, write it down. Words matter, and they'll start planting the seed to get you there. And then when you pose the question of how in front of whatever you're wanting to do, it will continue to unravel with answers and ways. Things you may have to do to learn more and do, but you can do it. Guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. Because again, another one from Bob is if there's a will, there's a way. And then the other one that was like right above the door of the classroom on a poster board, and the lettering was done in black Sharpie. If it is to be, it is up to me. Yeah. Universal truth, timeless, and very true. And again, that right there was put above the door by a man named Bob Gay, who I lost back in December of last year, and that sucked. But you know what? He has a legacy that I will always cherish, remember, and promote because he did so much for me. And in turn, that's why I do what I do in so many ways. Not just because he taught me everything I know about broadcasting in the early days, but also he taught me how to be a good human being and trying to help other people because he sure helped me. Boy, did he. I can only imagine what I may have evolved into without his influence. Yeah. So sentimental time. Did it. Don't care. Bob was a wonderful guy. And I know he's doing, I can only imagine the things he's coming up with and that next level. I'm sure he's moved on from doing the same old crap that we were doing before, that we're doing now. Because, more more things to learn, see, study, and do. Okay, what time is it? We're looking at 8:41. Again, it is Monday, November the 10th, 2025, podcast episode number 11. And we're going to do it again tomorrow, and it's going to look a little different. This is going to look the same, most likely, because this is my stuff. Like every one of these little things here, it just feeds something. It speaks to me. I could tell you, man, I didn't realize that. Why didn't y'all tell me I have these horns on the side of my head? Yeah, I gotta go back over and see Kat over at Classic Cuts to get this lined out. I had to like reschedule because things happened on my actual day that I had set a month out. Here, I'll share one more thing. Another thing in the process of doing stuff and brainstorming and writing and getting things prepped and planned is I do like to take time to pause and play. And the way I like to pause and play nowadays is with my Bamboo Labs 3D printer, which is like the ultimate Santa's Workshop maker machine. I love it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I've had these 3D model here for like if you're familiar with 8-inch action figures from back in the day, this is Superman, very prominent in life for me. But also I printed Thor's hammer and helmet, which replicates from the original release way back in the 70s. But it's kind of cool. You can push a button and then you got accessories. I did that. Oh, one more just because if you're still sticking around, then you're just as goofy as I am, and I appreciate you more than others who dumped off. But I had like a Mandela effect when I first did this. Um, and I don't it doesn't matter. But anyway, I was thinking that with the helmet, it like originally had the white wings attached. No, it's always been silver. Always. But at some point along the line, I thought, well, white wing. So I this is all printed in at one time in one piece with the separated colors, and it makes for a much longer print. But the ability to print in multiple colors is the most wonderful kind of sorcery anyone could ever hope for at in-home prototyping and possibly manufacturing. Amazing, amazing. Oh, I'll share one more of those. I should totally get into the 3D printer selling business because I'm telling you, I can sell them bad boys because they're worth it. Printed this, and this is all one shot, all print in place. And I had made some of these at Halloween for, um, or printed some of these. I didn't make these. I'm still learning how to design some of this stuff. But I printed some of these for Pokeween. That was more Halloween themed. I dig that. I saw this one for Superman. It's just like the vertigo comes. It's fun. I like it a lot. Fidgets. Never got into fidgets, but this sorcery here is just really neat. The camera work does not do it justice, but it was all printed in color at one time. 3 colors there, or 4. No, just 3. There's no black in it. But I just love it. It was just so much fun. And again, every home in America and around the world, I can't stress enough the importance of embracing things like 3D printing. That technology is awesome because you can do awesome things. And do it for your kids, do it for your grandkids, do it for yourself. Because I'm telling you, once you get started, it's like Lay's potato chips, man. You ain't never gonna stop. You just won't. What else we got? Let me check over here one more time. See what else is going on. And there's Brandon and everybody. Let's see. There we go. There we go. There we go. Again, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Remember, go 72601life.com. It's going to be a growing and hopefully very dependable media outreach for just get you news and information as well as the 72601 Life destination guide and business directory, just to help you get around. And people who are going to be coming to town with you for the holidays, it'll be something that you can say, "Here, look at this," and it's just in one spot. I didn't do anything. I basically shine the spokes on the phone book. That's basically what it boils down to, because we don't even have phone books anymore, and those things were more handy than you might have realized, right? Right. Try it out, you'll like it. So let's wrap this thing up, and I'm going to actually, where's that at? The end screen. I'm going to use the end screen feature today and then stop the stream because Brandon, my buddy, my pal, Storm Trek 360, it was a great idea. I didn't think about it, but I say I can go to that. You won't see me. You'll see the end screen, and then I can turn everything off without anything breaking. Neat. And we all learn from each other. Anyway, have a great Monday. See you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Nice and early for some, kind of late morning for other people, like myself and Beamer. Beamer. Uh, Morning guy, if you're not familiar with Beamer over at 94.9 KHOZ, he's fun to wake up to if you like country music, especially. So, otherwise, just catch him on the street. He's a lot more fun on the street because you're not listening to just country music. Just saying. I like the old school, not the new school. It's my prerogative. Anyway, have a great day, gang.